Have you ever felt that the world is moving so fast that everyone around you is pulling you in different directions, yet you feel a voice inside telling you, step back, pause, and just be still. Just be still. That voice is the beginning of wisdom. And then today, I am here to show you why embracing solitude is not just an option, or Onishin goes on to say, but a powerful path toward your destiny. By the time this message ends, you will understand why your best opportunities, your strongest growth and your deepest victories come standing alone. When you are standing alone, Thurinyud Fafdiwan to say, firmly rooted in your own strength. Being alone does not mean being lonely. It means being free. Distractions, free from the noise of other people's expectations, and free to discover the potential that already resides inside you. That Fwai can see. When you are constantly surrounded by others, their opinions, say, their fears, their doubts seep into your soul. You begin to measure your worth against their standards instead of your own. But when you step into solitude, you reconnect with your authentic self. You see clearly who you are, what you want, and what you are willing to fight for. The truth is, society often mistakes being alone as weakness. Yet, history's greatest leaders, and to say, innovators and visionaries discovered their power in moments of isolation. Solitude forces you to confront your weaknesses, sharpen your strengths, and create strategies that are entirely your own. You learn self-discipline because no one else did. Is pushing you forward. It is say, you build resilience because as you rely only on your determination, and when you emerge from that solitude, you are unstoppable. Moreover, Moreover, being alone now ensures that your future relationships are intentional. You will not settle for mediocrity. You will not settle for mediocrity. You will not allow anyone to dictate your worth or your path. Solitude teaches patience, discernment, and the courage to wait for what aligns with your purpose. The relationships, partnerships, and opportunities you attract after learning of being alone will be far more valuable than any fleeting comfort you sacrificed to avoid being solitary. More being solitary. In essence, solitude is not a punishment. It is a preparation. And Israel is forged. It is the crucible in which your character is forged. Your purpose clarified and your destiny secured. Embrace it. Celebrate it. Understand that being alone is your greatest advantage. Because when you master yourself first, the world has no choice but to recognize your power. Recognize your power. You are not meant to follow the crowd. You are meant to stand alone. And in that aloneness, you will find the freedom, the clarity, and the power to become everything you were created to be, and the power to everything you were created to be. The power of solitude is one of solitude, the most underestimated forces in life. That it is one of the most transformative. Yet it is one of the most transformative. Many people fear being alone, associating it with loneliness or failure. But solitude is not the absence of life. It is the presence of clarity, purpose, and personal strength. When you allow yourself to step away from the constant noise of the world, from the endless expectations, from the endless distractions of opinions, expectations, and social pressures, you create a sacred space to understand who you truly are. Quiet moments. It is in these quiets that your own potential. You begin to see your own potential, your own unique talents, and the path that only you can walk And solitude does not isolate you from does not isolate you from success. It prepares you for it. It teaches you to rely on your own judgment, to trust your own decisions, and to develop confidence that develop it in them that only from knowing yourself deeply. When you are alone, you are forced. When you are alone, you are forced to confront your weaknesses. Oh, not to be defeated by them. Not to be defeated by them, but to strengthen yourself against them. You learn patience, discipline, and resilience because no one else is holding your hand. No one else is fixing your mistakes. And no one else is setting your pace. This alone time becomes the foundation upon which your character is built and your destiny shaped. And your destiny shaped. In the silence, ideas become clearer, strategies sharper, and your vision goes for life becomes on blind fighters. By the influence, undid by the influence of others. Many who fear solitude fail as to realize. Often big greatness begins in isolation. In moments when the world is quiet, and you are left only with yourself. This is when your inner voice becomes loudest, guiding you toward deepest, guiding you toward decisions that align with your purpose rather than temporary approval from others. Solitude allows you to recharge your spirit, reconnect with your values, and cultivate the inner strength necessary to face the life's challenges with courage. The power of solitude is the power of self-mastery, the power of independence, and the power to create a life that is fully your own. Is fully your own. You're going them to say, the moment you embrace being alone, you are no longer chasing validation. You are creating influence, impact, and a life of meaningful achievement. To stand alone is to stand powerful, and that is the essence of solitude. And there's yeah, avoiding distraction is one of the most important decisions your most main free personal growth and success. Every person you allow into your life has the potential to either lift you higher or hold you back. And many fail to recognize the silent power that comes from protecting their mind and focus. When you constantly surround yourself or do not serve with opinions that do not serve you, criticism that is not constructive, or people who carry their own doubts and fears and sure, you begin to absorb energies that are not yours. Are not yours. Are not yours. You start to second. Guess your decisions slow your progress and compromise your vision. It is not selfish. Step back from the chaos of other people's expectations. It is necessary. It is necessary by choosing solitude and focusing on your own path. You create space for clarity. Your clarity and intentional action. In that quiet, you realize that your time, energy, and attention are most valuable resources, and most valuable resources, and this you've heard in the ocean. Allow yourself to, and once you allow yourself to be pulled in every direction by negative influences, you dilute the power that lies within you. Life is already full of challenges and obstacles. The last thing you need is the unnecessary resistance from people who cannot see your potential or do not share your commitment to growth. While I said, and grew. Avoiding distractions is not about cutting off the world entirely. It is about discerning what deserves your focus and discerning what deserves your focus on and what is merely noise. Every go for chi. Gri te bigo te huvrai. Every great achievement begins with the ability to concentrate on what matters. And that concentration cannot exist in an environment filled with negativity. Say, sooner you learn to distance yourself from piveni, the sooner Hutu Distance yourself from people or situations that drain your energy. Yotis wins. The sooner you will reclaim your power. Sai. Solitude, in this sense, becomes a shield, a protective boundary that it ensures you are not manipulated or misled by external pressures. It allows you to cultivate discipline, clarity, and strategic thinking when you stop allowing others' fears, doubts, or limited thinking to dictate your actions. You step into your authority, your freedom, and your potential freedom. Avoiding distress is just a choice. Avoiding distractions and negative influence is not just a choice. It is a commitment to yourself, to your vision. To your vision and to the extraordinary life you are meant to create. Of, na. Self-reliance is not merely a habit. It is the ability to trust yourself. It is superpower. It is the ability, trust yourself to make decisions that align with your vision and to take responsibility for the life you are creating without waiting for validation or assistance from others. Now, in Kiervlis, many people spend their entire lives seeking approval, advice, and guidance, believing that dependence on others is the path to success, yet true strength. Yet true strength is born when you learn to stand on your own, when you understand that your power lies not in who supports you, but in depth of your own abilities, wisdom and determination. When you cultivate self-reliance, you are no longer vulnerable to manipulation, disappointment, imposed by others, or the limitations imposed by others. You are free to act, to innovate, and to pursue your goals with unwavering focus. This freedom is not arrogance. It is empowerment. You begin to recognize that waiting for someone to pave the way, validate your ideas, or grant permission only delays your destiny. Every time you choose to rely on yourself, you strengthen your confidence, sharpen your judgment. Sharpen your judgment. You power and develop resilience that cannot be taught in any classroom or learned from any mentor. Yeah. That you understand moments. Life wins and support if will test you, and there will be moments when support is scarce. When guidance is unavailable and when challenges seem overwhelming. In those moments, self-reliance becomes your anchor. It allows you to navigate adversity with clarity, courage, and conviction. Moreover, reliance does not isolate you from collaboration or meaningful relationships. On to say, rather, it ensures that every connection you engage in is intentional and based on mutual respect, not neediness or dependency. You attract people who complement your strength of exploiting your strength and instead exploiting between your weaknesses. Self-reliance transforms your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, because you understand that the resources, ideas, and power you need to succeed are already within you. The moment you embrace your ability to ability to depend on yourself, you step into a life of independence, authority, and unstoppable momentum. It is in this state that you realize you do not need the world to move forward. You are destiny, your own destiny, and that is the ultimate superpower. No. Clarity in decision making is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. And it often comes from choosing to be alone. When you are constantly surrounded by noise, opinions, expectations, and the agendas of others, it becomes nearly imquiet to hear the quiet Dwin Fukui and wise voice within you. Solitude allows your mind to slow down and to focus and to filter what truly matters from what is irrelevant. It is in these moments of stillness that you can examine your goals, And you want to assess your options and make decisions that align with your purpose rather than being swayed by pressure or convenience. Every decision we make shapes every decision, the trajectory of our lives, yet many people allow themselves to be influenced by fear, doubt, or the desire to please others. This is why those who learn to stand alone gain an advantage of the gay. They are able to look at life objectively, evaluate situations without bias, and choose paths that lead to growth, success, and fulfillment. Clarity in decision making is not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It is about understanding your values, your priorities, and the outcomes you are willing to pursue. When you develop this clarity, you stop wasting energy on choices that do not serve your vision, and you gain the confidence to move forward decisively. Solitude trains your mind to focus on what is essential, to listen to your instincts, and to weigh options thoughtfully before taking action. It teaches patience, because not every answer is immediate, and it cultivates discernment, because you learn to distinguish between and what is helpful and what is a distraction. The ability to make clear, purposeful decisions is a superpower, and it becomes stronger the more you trust yourself and your judgment. So by embracing moments of aloneness, you give yourself the opportunity to think deeply, reflect honestly, and act with precision. The world may try to pull you in every direction, But when your mind is clear, your choices are deliberate. Your choices are deliberate. And your path becomes undeniable. Clarity in decision making is the difference between wandering aimlessly through life and moving with unstoppable purpose toward your destiny. Purpose toward your destiny. Awe, 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 awe. No. Awe, no. Awe, awe. A self-discovery journey that can only truly begin when you truly view and you embrace solitude. Many people go through life following paths laid out by others, chasing goals that are not their own, and conforming to standards that do not resonate with their spirit. In the midst of constant noise and distraction, it is nearly impossible to hear your own voice or understand what you were truly created to accomplish. Self-discovery requires intentional reflection, honesty, and a willingness to confront both your strength. To confront both your strengths and your weaknesses. When you are alone, you remove the influence of external expectations. The next part is Dion to say, allowing your authentic self to emerge. You begin to identify what excites you, what motivates you, and what drains your energy. You recognize the beliefs and patterns that have been inherited or imposed upon you, and decide which ones your growth does no longer serve your growth. In this sacred space, you gain clarity about your values, your passions, and your purpose, and you start making decisions that are aligned with the life you were meant to live. The art of self-discovery is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process of learning, growing, and evolving. Each moment spent in solitude offers new insights, deeper understanding, and greater awareness of your potential. It allows you to cultivate self-respect and confidence Because when you know who you are, you no longer seek validation from others or fear, judgment. You begin to move through the world with intention, clarity, Salazar to say, and authenticity. Solitude also empowers you to experiment, take risks, and explore paths that might have seemed impossible in the presence of others' opinions. Tilsod, to listen to your intuition, you learn to trust yourself, to listen to your intuition, and to act from a place of inner wisdom. In the end, self-discovery transforms you from someone who is influenced by circumstance to someone who creates their own destiny. It is in these moments alone, reflecting, observing, and understanding yourself, this, that you unlock the full measure. Go. That you unlock the full measure of your potential. Mili. The art of self-discovery is not merely about knowing who you are. It is about embracing who you are and living a life that is fully, unapologetically and powerfully your own. Or, ow, 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 ow. Choosing to be alone is not a rejection of others. It is an investment in the quality of relationships you will have tomorrow's. There's this. Many people rush into connections out of fear of loneliness, seeking companionship at the cost of their values, peace, or purpose. Disappointment. This often leads to frustration, disappointment, and broken trust because the relationships are built on convenience rather than alignment. When you embrace solitude, you say, you give yourself the time to understand your own needs, boundaries. You learn what truly and desires. You learn what truly matters in a relationship. What kind of energy you are willing to welcome. And what patterns you refuse to repeat. Being alone teaches patience, and it teaches discernment. You realize that not every connection is necessary, and not every person deserves a seat in your life. Nizon, to say, this does not make you cold, it makes you wise. By taking the time to know yourself fully, you cultivate a standard for relationships that is based on respect, authenticity, and mutual growth. When you finally enter relationships, after periods of intentional solitude, you bring completeness, not neediness. You are no longer dependent on others to validate your worth or fill a void. Instead, you contribute to your strength, clarity, and presence to the connection. This is why relationships formed after periods of self-reflection are far more meaningful and lasting. You attract people who resonate with your purpose and values rather than those who merely satisfy temporary comfort. Solitude also allows you to heal from past disappointments and let go of patterns that that no longer serve you. You learn forgiveness, understanding, and the power, healthy boundaries. Androse. By valuing your alone time, you demonstrate self-respect, which in turn inspires respect from others. In essence, being alone is preparation for relationships that honor your true self. Ilfan, if it can call I goes on to say, it ensures that your future are intentional, empowering, when fulfilling. When you embrace solitude today, you are not isolating yourself from love or companionship. You are creating the foundation goes off for relationships that are deeper, richer, and far more transformative than anything you could have rushed into. As the strength, clarity, and wisdom you gain in solitude become the gifts you bring very meaningful connection in the future.